From the Oklahoman newsroom, this is an OU update. I'm Jenny Carlson here with OU beat writer Ryan Aber. Ryan, big news earlier this week. Jalen Hurts is the Sooner quarterback. I guess big news. I think we all sort of thought it was coming. But while that was made official, something that has been pretty well known also, probably will never be official though, is the fact that he's going to have a great target in CeeDee Lamb, third-year junior, a guy that has been really good his first 2 years, but he, even with these young guys coming on at receiver, CeeDee is a guy that I'm sure Jalen Hurts is going to be looking for.
Yeah, he's got a chance to be one of the best receivers in OU history. Won't quite catch the numbers of a guy like Ryan Broyles, who was a clear number one for multiple years. Obviously, CeeDee Lamb is played behind Marquise Brown, which held down both their numbers a little bit. But CeeDee Lamb has been phenomenal for the first 2 years of his OU career. It's very likely that this is the last year of his OU career if he puts together another year like he did a season ago, and I think everybody expects him to, barring an injury of some kind. But Lamb has been phenomenal on multiple fronts. He's obviously a great pass catcher, works really well in traffic, can be physical. You see what he can do blocking-wise when he's asked to do that. So he's got a little bit of everything. The question is just how high is his ceiling right now?
Well, that's something that you looked at on Sunday. Our football preview section will be coming out, Sunday's newspaper. You want to check that out, and we'll be using this 150th anniversary of college football to celebrate the history of college football in our state. Great Cowboys, great Sooners, basically anybody that played college ball in the state. But CeeDee Lamb, a guy that isn't yet on sort of that best of list, but what could he potentially do this year that might get him into that conversation?
Well, I think there's a couple things that CeeDee Lamb can do to take that next step. And being the top 150 all-time player at OU is a very high bar. There's more All-Americans than 150 in OU history. So, but what CeeDee Lamb has to do is, one, be more consistent. There were times last year when he would let his concentration dip a little bit. He needs to change that. The other thing is just being able to run his routes crisper and to get more yards after a catch. There were times last year when he'd catch a ball in tough traffic but wouldn't be able to fight through and break down field, which is what we saw obviously Marquise Brown do quite a bit of. CeeDee Lamb still had quite a bit of yards after catches last year, but that's an area that Lincoln Riley says especially he has a chance to take a big step forward at this year.
You know, considering I mentioned Jalen Hurts earlier, we obviously don't know exactly what he's going to bring to the table after this time spent with Lincoln Riley learning this offense. But do you see Lamb and Hurts meshing pretty well to sort of, as you say, give maybe Lamb a chance to be in that conversation among the greats of all time? Yeah,
that's something that I've actually talked to both CeeDee Lamb and Jalen Hurts about. They spent a lot of time together this summer out on the practice field, really getting a feel for each other and the way that Jalen Hurts throws, the way that CeeDee Lamb runs routes. So I think there's little doubt right now that CeeDee Lamb is the guy that Jalen Hurts feels most comfortable with, and I would anticipate that translating into Saturdays here in the fall.
All right, we'll get a chance to see what that connection looks like, what CeeDee Lamb looks like as a third-year junior for the Sooners. First game on Sunday, September 1st against Houston. That's a 6:30 kick. We'll have all the coverage leading up to that and so much more. So be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at Oklahoman.com and every day in the Oklahoman.